What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. I have a question and I need the answer. Why is it that so many people have preferred to just stay in the matrix? Why is this? Some of y'all may be thinking to yourselves, like, what is she talking about? Well, I'll tell you exactly what I'm talking about. As of lately, I have had a few conversations with people, just random people. You know how, like, you run into a stranger and they seem to be, very genuine and kind, and then y'all just start exchanging words with each other. Well, we get on the subject of what's going on in the world because it's definitely obvious, you know. And a lot of people, they know that they're in the matrix now, but they will prefer to stay in the matrix. There is nothing that you can do to pull them out. It's nothing you can do. It's like they know that they are there and they would prefer to just stay there. They know. They know what's going on. I'm going to tell you right now, what's going on in the world is starting to wake the people up worldwide, but they would prefer to stay asleep. They know what's going on now, but leave them alone. They would prefer to just stay asleep. They don't want anybody to interrupt them. We live in a time of the great deception. We live in a time where there is good versus evil, literally. These are the times that we live in. It's like if you deep in a matrix, either you come out from that or you stay in. That's where we at right now. And people have preferred to just stay where they're at. You know what? You want to know why? Because people feel like it is just way too much for them, as it is, because of all the stuff that's going on, all of the stuff that they've been in denial about the whole entire time. They just really can't believe that things are actually happening. So that's enough right there for them to stress out about. They don't need you to help them. They don't need you to pull them out of the matrix so they can stress out even more, because people are lazy. They would prefer to stay where they're at with the dumbed down knowledge that they already have versus you trying to pull them out of that and telling them the correct things that they already know about, but they don't want to apply. They would prefer for you to just leave them alone right now. They don't want to deal with the other side. They don't want to come out of the matrix. And this is the same exact thing that I be talking about when I talk about slavery too, because slavery is optional. And a lot of people force themselves to continue to work a job that they damn hate, because they force themselves to say, I need this job because I have to pay my bills. Not the fact that I want to stop working this job because I hate it. I want to quit it because I dislike it. I want to quit it because I don't like the way I'm being treated. Not the let me go find another job that fits my schedule, that's better for me, where I get treated with respect. People force themselves to stay in a position that they don't have to be in. And this is the same thing with, staying in the matrix. People would prefer to stay in the matrix. They don't want to be pulled out of it. They don't want to learn new things that they really already know, but they don't want to, they don't want to further expand their knowledge on certain things. Like a lot of people, they know about not celebrate. They know that you're not supposed to celebrate these holidays, but they will prefer to celebrate the holidays because they use their family as an excuse to celebrate holidays. Rather, that is, loved ones coming together or someone dying. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, the only time a lot of black families come together is when someone dies. When there is a tragic event, that's when black people decide, oh, it's time to come together for the funeral, though. For the funeral. Because in that event that something had occurred at that exact moment, people still be having they pride in a way. They still can't reach out to you. Still. They want to confirm that you are deceased so that they can stand over your dead body, which is completely disrespectful because the entire time that this person was here on this earth and they try to acknowledge you, they try to be nice to you, they try to be kind to you, but you didn't want that. The entire time. You prayed on their downfall. You couldn't wait to the day that this person didn't exist anymore. And when that tragic moment happened, in that moment, when you could have saved someone's life, you decided to just let it ride all out until you can confirm that that person is actually deceased. I'm telling y'all, this is exactly how majority of the black community works. This is the time that we live in. 2025, it has got to a point, seriously. It has got to a point where the people that is in the matrix, they will literally watch you die. They will watch you die because that is what they have wanted in the first place. You better believe people when they tell your ass they tired of you. Seriously. People will literally in their minds when they say that they tired of you, they literally are tired of you breathing the air that they breathe. That's how wicked people have become. People that's in a matrix. They are tired of you taking up the same exact air that they have to take up. They tired of that. People will prefer to stay in a matrix because the matrix is like reality television. Real talk. The Matrix is like a reality TV show. The Matrix is like a everyday, free circus for them. Front row seats. These are people that will literally gang stalk you, watch you struggle, watch everything bad happen in your life, pray on your downfall. These are those type of people. And that's why I got to the point where everybody would prefer to stay where they're at. Seriously. It's like a everyday social media for them in person. People have become so heartless, cold-hearted, They don't want to hear nothing that you got to say unless it's about money. They don't want to hear nothing that you got to say unless it's feedback from a story that they told you. They don't want to hear your story though. They want you to hear them. They don't want to hear you talk. They dismiss you. I mean, people have become so straight up disrespectful. It's like that. And then on top of that, it's getting to the point where they're getting physical. I'm telling you, it reminds me of everyday episode of Love and Hip Hop out here in these streets. That's what it reminds. Love and Hip Hop Chicago. That's what it reminds me of. Seriously. It has gotten to the point where there is no more love left. No more compassion. If it got to the point where if it ain't about them, it ain't about nothing at all. People have become lovers of themselves, lovers of money, lovers of the material life, social media. I mean, nothing can bring them out of that. You hear me? Nothing. Nothing but the grace of God. But a lot of people then turned their backs on God now too. Real talk, it's all about the AI too. They believe in AI so heavily that they don't even believe in God anymore. And they don't even know, and they don't even see that they are evolving into nothing but a very wicked person. They don't even see that, because you want to know why they don't want to see it. They know. They know that they ain't the same, but they don't want to know that. They don't want to see that. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to know about any change that could potentially happen for the better within themselves. They don't want to hear about it. They want you to be quiet. Please stop talking. You know, we live amongst vampires. We live amongst vampires. This remind me of that show I used to watch back then when I was younger, Buffy the Vampire. This reminds me of that show. Seriously. It's like it's good versus evil. I can name so many shows, but I can't even think of them off the top. I can name so many, movies, but I can't think of them off the top. But we are in a real life movie scene. They are doing things behind the scenes that y'all don't know nothing about. Okay? They want y'all to focus on this war, which rightfully so. You know what I'm saying? We understand there's a war going on. But honestly, like I've been saying, people been at war with themselves long before they had to go to war with the people. And like I keep saying, it is the people. The people. If people weren't so evil, and if this life that we live, and if this whole entire world, every country you can think of, was at peace within, this would be a more positive world that we live in. But it's not. It ain't even like that. People don't live with peace. They live with violence, with destruction, with negative thoughts. They live that type of life. They don't like a drama-free life. They feel like peace is boring, bro. You do not know how many people here in Chicago that would prefer to stay in Chicago. You know, a lot of people told me they would prefer to stay here because it's the city life. They need to see some drama. They need to see some fights. You know, they need to hear police sirens. I mean, people have they going crazy. For real. People will literally prefer drama over peace. So you got to ask yourself, what type of person does that make them? It does not make them a drama-free person. I don't want to live around that type of stuff. I would prefer peace. Yes, peace can be boring. Peace is quiet. But I would prefer that. Why don't you want that? You want to know why? Because people feel like their life is a mess, a total wreck, because it's at peace. And they're the type of people that like to disturb your peace. So what makes you think that they want to be at peace? They don't want to be at peace. I'm telling you, people have literally told me this out their own mouths. I've had relatives to tell me this, that they don't want to live in the suburbs because it's quiet. It's too boring. It's not enough noise. It's not enough violence. It's not enough. I'm telling you, people prefer violence, right? People prefer violence, but you sitting up here crying because it's a war going on. You sitting up here y'all. When I'm telling you, People don't want to come out of the matrix because they love what's there. They don't want to leave it alone because they're comfortable where they're at. They love that lifestyle. They love materialistic stuff. They don't care what China said, okay? They want to continue to spend all of their money on the material things for the satisfaction of others that they don't even know, to satisfy people worldwide across social media, people that they don't even know, to satisfy the eyes of other people, you know what I'm saying, that wants to know if their life is going good. So they want to make sure that they show you that their lives is going good by overworking themselves. Like I said, tirelessly. Making sure that they get check after check after check after check after check. Don't stop. They want to keep running in that doggone wheel. They want to keep they want to keep doing it. They want to. Because you want to know why? They need something to complain about in the midst of all that. They need to complain that their funds is low and they need to go back to work. They need to complain that their job is pissing them off, but they're going to continue to go back to work. They need to complain that their bills need to get paid because they potentially might fall behind, even though they didn't even get a chance to fall behind. You know what I'm saying? They just feel like their funds is low and they need to get it higher. Even though it's high enough, it needs to be higher because they also need to be able to afford the material things in life so that they can show the internet, so they can show people that don't even like them, so that they can, involve themselves in that mess. They don't want to come out of the matrix. It's fun to them. They don't want to come out of the matrix. This is their life. They don't want to come out of the matrix. Leave them alone. Leave them sleep. They'll wake up when they feel that it's time. And unfortunately, what a lot of people don't know is it's not much time. You can change at any given moment for the better, and it does happen overnight. If it happened for me, I know it can happen for other people as well. Don't ever let nobody convince you that it don't happen overnight, because it do. You can be a horrible person today and wake up an amazing, wonderful, kind-hearted, generous person the next day and leave all that stuff behind you. All that stuff that you used to do, the way that you used to be. Don't care about what nobody else got to say about you. And see, that's the problem too. A lot of people that's in a matrix, they care too much about what others think. We shouldn't care about what nobody think about us. The person that we should always be focused on is the Most High God. But y'all too busy out here worried about what this person said about you, this person is saying about you, and what this person has to say about you. You too worried about what's going on the internet and somebody else and their flaws than working on your own. You too worried about that. A lot of people that cares about what others think, they are the main people that be judging folks. Them the main people that be judging folks. So they don't want nobody to judge them. A lot of people feel like when they speak up, they'll become a part of the problem. But you're not, because you literally voicing how you feel, which we all should be able to do. We should be able to think freely for ourselves. We shouldn't follow behind what the next person says just because it looks good, A lot of people are afraid of the truth because they feel like the truth can ruin their image. What they have worked so hard for all of these years, half of their lives, they don't want nothing to tear what they worked so hard for apart. They don't want nothing to get in the way, even if that means that you're trying to help them climb out of the matrix. They don't want that. It's going to ruin their image. They don't want no peace. They don't want to live, in the suburbs. They don't want that. They need the city life. And they don't need you stressing them out. Even though watching crime and violence in the city is enough stress within itself. And these be people that have the financial means to move into nice neighborhoods, y'all. I'm telling you. I have literally had conversations with people that make a good income yearly that have told me they would prefer to stay in the matrix, that they would prefer to stay in the city. And you know, they need noise. They can't be in those areas where it's too quiet and it's a lot of land. And you know, even though the house might be nice and beautiful and stuff and it's peaceful and there's no crime or anything like that and the prices are cheaper, they don't want that. I don't understand. But then again, I do. And I say, wow, people would literally prefer to stay in the matrix. And then the audacity. A lot of people, as of lately, that I've talked to, have blatantly told me that they know they're in the matrix and they just would prefer to be there. And then it's like, they say stuff like, yeah, you know, I know I'm in a matrix, but I mean, I would prefer to be there because you know what they say? We're all in the matrix. Nah, you are. We all ain't in no matrix. You are. When you love things of this world, when you love the material life, when you love celebrity gossip, when you love being in the next person's business, when you love fighting, when you love overworking yourself, when you bow down to this system and this government, and when you love America, a corrupt country that has done you and your whole entire family wrong since before you was even thought of, you in a matrix. Do you love that? Do you want to remain there? So this is what we gonna do. I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Now, before I ask y'all this, I want y'all to get out of this stubborn mindset, okay? No one's telling you what to do because they're asking you a question. No one's telling you what to do because they're trying to give you some knowledge. No one's trying to call you slow because they're trying to give you some knowledge. You're not dumb, okay? I need y'all to get out of that stubborn mindset and stop believing in your mind that a person has to be a certain age in order to give you some knowledge. It doesn't matter the age though. You got to understand that. If you can say age ain't nothing but a number when it comes down to dating and being in relationships, know that age ain't nothing but a number when it comes down to a person spitting some knowledge at you. It doesn't matter the age. Do you not know that it's 70-plus-year-old women and men out here that still ain't got no knowledge in certain areas? Do you not know that? Do you not know it's people around your age that does not have knowledge in certain areas? Do you know that it's a person younger than you that might have went through hell and back and that has more knowledge than anything? It don't matter the age. So I want to ask y'all a question. Have you ever really sat down, had enough time to sit down and think, man, I'm tripping. Even though I hate this job, I'm still going and I ain't even got to. It's optional. Man, I'm tripping. Even though I need the hours, I don't have to work all of these hours because I'm missing out on time with my family. You know? Have you ever sat down and thought to yourself, man, I'm tripping. I need to really do my research, dig deep, and figure out what's going on. What are these politicians saying? What are they talking about? Instead of literally just believing everything that they say out of their mouths? Have you ever thought to yourself that you could potentially be getting deceived by the people, by the politicians? Have you ever sat down and thought? Have you ever checked your food while you were in a drive-through to make sure that you have everything that you ordered correctly? Have you ever sat in a drive-through or stood inside the grocery store before you left and pulled off and paid attention to your receipt and paid attention to detail that they potentially could have cheated you because you just know that that item was not that amount when you pulled it off the shelf? Have you ever really sat and thought to yourself that, man, I'm the one always reaching out to people, you know, they're not reaching out to me to check on me? Have you ever sat and thought to yourself that you need to stop being a yes man and saying yes to everything? Have you ever thought to yourself that you need to be able to express how you truly feel instead of letting someone tell you what they feel like you should do and you going along with it? Have you ever thought to yourself, man, I'm not living for myself, I'm really up here living for others? Have you ever thought to yourself that you really don't have enough money to buy the expensive materialistic stuff so that you can show off for the internet? Have you ever thought to yourself that you need to pull yourself away from the internet because you use it too much, because you be on Facebook too much, Instagram too much? Have you ever thought to yourself that you need to stop going out to parties every weekend? Have you ever thought to yourself, man, what is the true origins behind these holidays? What am I celebrating? Why am I celebrating? Have you ever thought to yourself that Pastor, he just saying that God said this, that, and the third to get you to put some offering in the bucket for him and his benefit? Have you ever thought to yourself? Have you ever thought to yourself that your children aren't irritating you? They're just being children. Have you ever thought to yourself that you need to stop getting mad at your children for not accomplishing his story? Have you ever thought to yourself, wait, let me say that right. Have you ever sat down and thought to yourself, let me stop getting mad at my child for getting an F in his story? Have you ever thought to yourself that these teachers could potentially be lying to you about your child because they have something negative to say every single time you go up to the school? Have you ever thought to yourself that your children need their father? And to my men, have you ever thought to yourself that you need to get involved in your child's life no matter what? Have you ever thought to yourself as a parent that you should never give up on your child just because you feel like they're making you look bad, just because you feel like they're ruining your image, the image that everybody else wants? Have you ever thought to yourself that you just need to be different, that you just need to be yourself? That's being different to them. Have you ever thought to yourself, man, yes, I'm in the matrix, but I need to pull myself out of this? Have you ever thought to yourself? I have so many questions, but I just really feel like you should sit down and think about those questions and ask yourself, man, have I? Because see, the problem is people don't sit down and think about what they're doing. They are just doing it. They doing it because they look good. They doing it because it feels good. They're doing it because everybody else is doing it. And they don't want to feel left out. They don't want to be the talk of the town because they decided not to do it. Have you ever sat and thought to yourself that you need to live for you and not for everybody else. Have you ever thought to yourself, man, forget what my family got to say about me just because I want to step away from them because they keep using me? Have you ever thought to yourself, man, forget about being around these people that's supposed to be my blood and they don't even respect me, even though I have consistently had to ask for respect? Y'all people that's in the matrix prefer to stay there. You don't want to hear what nobody else got to say. You don't want to listen. It's like y'all would prefer to keep your eyes closed, your ears closed, your mouth shut. It's like you would prefer that. You're not ready for a change because you feel like change is boring. You feel like change is bad. Because you know what? You want to know why? Y'all feel like y'all would be more at war with y'all selves and the people if you decide to change for the better. You feel like you have had enough of stress and change because the world is changing. Because every day that you wake up and you hear something bad that's going on in the world, you get afraid because it's getting closer to your image ripping to shreds. Because it's getting closer to that moment and you don't want that moment to happen. You are in denial that it has gotten to a point where your image is at stake. You don't even care about your life. You don't care about, the biggest blessing that's in front of you, which is you being able to breathe every single day. You don't care about being able to wake up in the morning every single day and have another chance at life because you are worried about your image being ruined. Y'all people will turn against y'all own children because they can, that's like them ruining your reputation, which is your image. You really got to sit and think about it. You are living for the world. You are living for the world. And when people speak the truth, don't get upset. Just listen. Just listen. You want somebody to hear your truth, so listen to the real truth though. Don't get upset. Don't get mad. Don't get irritable. You gotta stop. Also, y'all gotta stop throwing stones and hiding y'all hands. Stop creating a problem and not looking for the solution. Stop creating a problem and not looking for the solution. You just creating the problem and leaving it there. And then when a good person comes and they're trying to be the solution and they trying to clear everything up and make everything seem okay, you don't want that. You still want chaos. You still want it to be problematic. This is the biggest question that a lot of y'all should ask yourselves. Would you prefer peace or chaos? And when you ask yourself that, don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Would you and we're not talking about protesting and riots. We are not talking about that. I'm talking about within your life. Do you prefer peace or chaos? Would you prefer to live in the suburbs where it's quiet, or would you prefer to live in a city where it's not quiet, where it's a lot of stuff going on? Which one would you prefer? Would you prefer to watch reality TV all day, or would you prefer to read a book and go look at nature or watch nature videos? Would you prefer to go to a crowded gym where there's nothing but perversion there, or would you prefer to work out at home? Which would you prefer? Would you prefer peace or chaos? And I'm not even going to hold y'all too long, though. I just wanted to talk about that because I have been noticing a lot of people as of lately, they would prefer to stay in a matrix. And you really got to ask yourself this, because we are running out of time. And I'm not going to lie to you. Things is going to get worse. We already got AI taking over. We already got people losing their damn minds. We got this war that's going on with, Israel and Iran. The United States is all in the midst of it because they prefer to be. So it's a lot of stuff going on. Airplanes still falling out the sky. You know what I'm saying? Every single day you should be thankful for your life. And stop worrying about the materialistic things just because this person got it and that person got it. Live your life full of peace, joy, and happiness. Because would you prefer to go out in peace, or would you prefer to go out in chaos? I'm just being honest. Do you not know how many people took their last breath this morning, today, overall, or yesterday? Do you not know how many people went out in the worst ways because they were doing bad things, or possibly just got caught in the midst of something? Cherish every day that you're able to wake up and open up your eyes and see another day. And stop worrying about what this person think about you and that person think about you. Don't forget about the Most High God, most importantly. Because if it wasn't for him, you wouldn't even be here. Wake them folks up.